How many space marines does it take to change a light bulb? 100. 1 to change the bulb, and 99 to praise the Emperor. Hello everybody and welcome to this video, and if you've joined this video here, we're talking Warhammer 40K, and today I want to look at what is the best faction in Warhammer to get some lady action, to get some women, to get some girls, to get the fairer sex, the lovely, the holes. It's all boys here, it's fine guys. So I'm going to go through each faction, we're going to have a look at each one and see which one would be the best one to be on. And we're going to start with the easiest out of all of them. That is the humans, the people, us, ourselves, 41,000 years ahead, but we are still people. We still have willies and fannies. And, well, let's look at it from two different points. So, first of all, we've got normal human. You would probably have a job which would be 1 million hours a week. You would come home, you would have to procreate for the Emperor, and then you would eat, probably sleep for a few minutes and go back and work. Toil and sex is pretty much all you're going to have. It's a very sex and death moment. It's a very, you know, late night on BBC Two kind of a situation going on. Sex and death. That is your life. That is your existence. You have to have children to throw into the meat grinder. That's literally the situation you're in. The better option, if you look at it that way, is probably to be an Astra Militarum, to be in the army, to be a soldier, because those girls have just survived being killed. A 95% mortality rate as a guardsman in the Emperor's army, and if you were to survive, I think those girls would be up for anything. I think they'd be Bonnie bluing the shit out of the barracks after it. I think they'd be hacking their way through everything and anything. If you can get hold of them early, you didn't have to go for sloppy seconds, but you would probably find new faces the very next day. As soon as you went back into a conflict, that girl would probably be obliterated by an orc or something. But yeah, I think that's... I mean, we've got the Sisters of Battle. Not really allowed to touch them. They're kind of like a Florence Nightingale kind of way. There's only two ways you're going to meet those girls. One is if you are fighting demons, and you've literally got 15 minutes before the Grey Knights turn up and kill you. Or... you've lost your legs, or you've been covered in Nurgle's, jizz, and you're about to be melted, and she's just there to comfort you and go, there, have a quick look at me tits before you go. They're ironclad, they're protected. So yeah, that's that one. Humans, I think, I mean, if you were in the army, I think you'd have a better chance. At least you can shag your way through the other. I think they'd just be so happy to be alive after a battle. They'd be up for anything. They'd be like, what do you want me to do? Suspend myself from the ceiling, paint myself purple, and stick a copy of the Radio Times up my arse. Happy days. Let's go. Let's see what happens there, because tomorrow they'll probably die. Next up is the orcs. Now, the orcs don't necessarily have female orcs. I think what they tend to do is they just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and pick one to be the lady, and then they do stuff to that. No, I genuinely think orcs is just a bunch of lads chilling, having a laugh, drinking, fighting, shouting, dancing, driving fast cars, and fucking each other up or other things up. That's pretty much an orc's life. It's basically if your entire race was run by Andrew Tate. There's just... Except they're good at fighting. But yeah, there you go. Orcs would probably be an interesting alternative for the guy who is a bit of a red pillar. Maybe he's not too bothered about women. Fuck women. Who cares? We want to fight and drink and punch each other up the nose. Until one of us falls over. A little bit of windy pops there for you guys. Next up would be the Tau. Now, the Tau... You know, they're quite a chilled out race. I think the ladies would be very eager to please. I think I'm going off Japanese culture here. They'd be blue. So if you're into Avatar, I know that's a bit of a kink for some people. That's turned up in a couple of pornos recently. So yeah, I mean, if you want to sort of... I think that, there's nothing worse than licking a fishy fanny. And I think you'd probably get that with the Tau. So... You know, that's something to look for. But other than that, they're all right. You're worth a smash. Why not? I mean, you are actually going to exist as these people, so you would have to smash them every single day. Well, just one, probably one dedicated wife, as they're all, mind you, they're all into community, aren't they, and everything like that. They're probably all about free love, just giving it away. It's probably just run around with a minge open, going, go on, sort me out. So that's the Tau. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know, I think they would remind me of some of those weird cam girls you see that look like some kind of Slaneshi demon. It's like, we haven't got to that yet, but yeah, that would be a Tau woman. Next up is the Eldar, the elves of the Warhammer 40k universe, and what an interesting race they are. They're super tall, which I know is a kink for some guys. They are a bit up themselves. You would basically be a simp. That's what you would be. You would just be one of these online simps, just following them around and licking their shoes clean when they get a little bit of dirt on them. Plus the Eldar aren't even the fun ones, because there was two types, wasn't there? There was the ones that behaved themselves and stayed as Eldar and weren't dirty, and then there was the really filthy ones, which we'll get to in a minute, the Drakari, and they fucked off somewhere. So we've got to find them, because the Eldar, I think they'd just be like, they're like shagging a royal. You know what I mean? Like a really tall Lady Diana. I'm not sure. And I mean, she was a smoking hot fox, but I don't know. I don't think... but she seemed quite nice. I don't think they're even quite nice. I think they'd be like, I don't know. Maybe you can lick my elbow. I think that's pretty much about as deep as it would go. And you just have to wank into a flannel. Next up is the Dark Eldar. And they are... interesting, but possibly terrifying. Lots of things that have spoke about them capturing humans depicts that they love torture, and I would imagine it'd be like Hellraiser with the Cenobites, that they've just got to a point where they're so used to pain and pleasure that that is just a fucking tangled mess. They have no idea what feels good. Is this good? I'm pulling your arm off. Ah, fucking, that's a good sound. Twist the arm a little bit. Ah, fucking, stop. Well, you're gonna be coming in a minute. I think that's pretty much where they would be with this situation. But yeah, the Dark Eldar, a little bit kinky, a little bit sexy, but a little bit fucking scary as well. But if you want your last moments on Earth to be her just literally, I don't know, what would she be doing? Probably force feeding you knives and forks while frothing off in your face. Probably, there you go, that would be a Dark Eldar for you. Next up is the Necron. Now, they don't have any souls. They also don't have any human or sort of wet, lovely bits. They're all metal and very angry people. And if you didn't do what they said, they'd probably just dissolve you. Yeah, I think they're too preoccupied with their own quest to destroy everything in the entire universe than to enjoy a little moment with you with a bit of Lionel Richie and a packet of condoms. I don't think they would be. And where would it even go? Well, it would go on you, but where would it even go? It wouldn't even go in anywhere. Not a chance. I mean, a handjob would be terrifying from that thing. She'd just be like, are you enjoying yourself? I'm literally doing the wank symbol here. She'd be like, are you enjoying yourself? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm having a great time. Yeah. Fucking soul's gone again. And you're like, ow! That'd be a terrifying situation. I can't believe I just wanked it by herself then. But it was a fun time. Next up is the Squats. Now, the Squats didn't used to have women. But since the Leagues of Votan, is it? Have come in, they now have females. They now have ladies. Okay, but remember there's a picture. I'll put a picture of them there. Sometimes they shave their beards. I mean, if you like hairy women, if you're into French women, then the leagues of Votan women will be very attractive for you. I'm sure you would have a good time with them. I'd show you. Yes, but also there's a lot of midget porn out there, and I think you would have a great time with them in that way. But again, I think the Squats are just a bunch of dudes just having a good time, just leaving their women at home and just fucking off all over the place. Next is the Tyranids. They don't really have women, they don't really have men, they just have biomass. So I think that sex with a Tyranid entity would be being brutally murdered by flesh-eating worms or acid-spewing guns or just them scything you into pieces, taking all your bits, you'd be dead at this time, throwing you into a big vat or like a big hole where you are mulched into a kind of fluid and then recreated as a Tyrannid. That's, hey, I've had worse evenings, or as I call it, an evening down Birmingham. There you go. Which leads us to our last 4, which is the Chaos unit. This is the Chaos guys. Okay, so there's 4 Chaos gods that we've got. One's an obvious one, so I'm going to leave it till last. I've wrote them all down here so I didn't forget any of the factions. That one is last. It's a given. You know which one I'm on about. Now Nurgle. What are they? What is he known for? Plague, pestilence, rot, decay, or as I call it, a girl from West Bromwich. Nice. Yeah, it would be like. Have you ever like a smelly minge? It would be worse than that. It would be like, you know. But you'd be one as well, so you'd have a bit of smegma under there. So I think it'd just be disgusting, gross. I mean, she'd smell. She'd have tentacles. That might be fun. Yeah, I think it'd be just a really stinky, gross moment. Yeah. I think you'd probably just like mulch together and go, and then bits of you would fall off onto her, and bits of her would fall off onto you, and buboes would explode all over her face. That'd be like a cum shot to her, like, and then she'd like slap you up the face with half a tentacled arm, and that'd be the end of it. And then you'd be done, and then you'd spend the rest of the day just dissolving like a Barocca in the sun. Next up is Khorne. Now, I think these girls would shag on their periods all the time, because blood for the blood god. Blood for that. You'd probably die, but like shagging a praying mantis. I think you'd have to hold on for dear life and hope to God she didn't get hold of you. Everything would have to be doggy, and everything would have to be very, very fucking quick, with the door right in the vicinity, because the minute you finish, to get the fuck out of there, because she's not happy. But yeah, I think she'd definitely be on the blob every time. Next up is Tzeentch, which I can imagine would be like having sex with Dynamo, the magician. It'd be like, are you having sex with me? No, it's my brother. Ah, what the fuck? I'm behind you with a towel. Ugh, put you over your head. When you release the towel, you're now in grease. And she's turned into a lamp. But she's not a lamp, because she's also your brother. And then her brother, they start making out. They come. That cum turns into a swan. That would be Tzeentch. It would be a very confusing and strange time. You wouldn't know if you were coming or going. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So, last of all on this video, we will be talking about the one, the only Slaanesh. Yes, she's pretty simple, as she's the one, or he's the one. I don't know. What is it? What is that? It's like fucking a ladyboy. We don't know what this is. I mean, they're very general, gender neutral. Yeah, it would be enough 7 tits, 4 minges, 3 dicks. It would have wings. It would be purple. It would have a sword, and it would want to do all kinds of things to your body all at the same time. Yes, Slaanesh was created because the Eldar, or the Dark Eldar, got so filthy with the stuff they did that they actually created a sex god. And it was literally a sexy sex god. Slaanesh is the god of desire. It's the god of lust, of want, of need, of just lust, really. That's a Slaanesh. And Slaanesh would, I don't know if you'd survive, but I think you would come back. You know, the demonettes are very strange little creatures. They have swords for arms and tits out, so it's a bit of everything, really. Funnily enough, I remember a guy, he was on Instagram and he does painting, and he totally serious, not even taking the piss, total deadpan, but he literally sat there and went, and now I have been painting this part of the body for 7 hours, just the boobs. just the boobs. There was no other part of her done, just her tits. I mean, the tiny, tiny, tiny baby's little fingernail sized boobies, and he'd spent 7 hours on them. Little areolas and everything. It was perfect. He'd even stuck little grains of salt on the end of the boobs to create nipples. It was a very strange time to be alive. So there you go, guys. That is every faction. Obviously I could go into like the oh yeah, the Mechanicum. That'd be like having sex with a fleshlight on a stick. Yeah, or with a fleshlight with a pneumatic drill attached to it. Yeah, does, I mean, would you have a willy? It would. I don't know what it would be. It would be the equivalent of OnlyFans. You'd just be shagging through a screen. I don't think you would feel anything. It would just be data that'd be sent straight into your cock. Yeah, I don't think it would be a particularly great time. Their women are mostly just robots. I think that is pretty much it for that. You could probably argue and go for the Astartes, but I don't think they have willies, and they're very Roman, and you know, they kind of knock around in loincloths when they're not dressed in their armor, just fuck about with their boys. So, you know, I think the Primarchs have willies, but I don't know why what is this conversation? It's supposed to be a new channel. What is this? I'm talking about whether Astartes have willies. No need. No need. But there you go, guys. That was a fun video. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe. There'll be more Warhammer videos coming. I'm drinking me Jack Daniels here and having a wonderful time of it. Yes, please tune in for more. We'll do some lore. It won't all be silly videos like this. We'll do some proper stuff where we'll talk about the factions and the wars, and some stories and gaming stories, and maybe even visit a Warhammer shop if we don't get pestered within 5 seconds of walking through the fucking door. I went in one a couple of weeks back, and I just wanted to look at a new orc unit. I just really needed a new orc unit. It was immediately pounced on. I didn't even walk through the door. I was immediately pounced on by a guy, and he was like, "What paint do you need? What are you thinking of? What army have you got?" I was like, "I've been doing this for years. Fuck off." So yes, we will try and get into a Warhammer shop if we can. Guys, thank you very much for joining me in this video. Remember that the Emperor always protects, and yes, KDS stands, and always will, although Chaos would not like us to think it does. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.